yoga basically means union. And union requires two minimum. Otherwise, there is only the need for union. So, yoga means union with what? Either something is already existing and it became two, then only you need union. Otherwise, with union with what? So, it is inherent that there is something already. With that, somehow we separated. One part got separated, at least one part, or all. Because union it can be umpteen also, it can be minimum two. So since we are now many, we take it that way. Because we are describing it in an entirely material way. Because spiritual way you cannot describe, you can only experience it. So material way we are seeing that we are a multitude. So we are separate. So that how to bring the union which already exists. That is the word. So that separation part we have to understand. So that boils down to the relationship. So any two chemicals if you want, then you read all that structure, how they are related to each other. So this how to bring about. Now we are materially there. So then there has to come some point when we reach to that stage which is eternal. Then only we come to know our relationship. So it cannot happen in just like that. Because why it can happen that way also, but we will anyway will not come to know. So they are devised in a way that if you observe as a human being these things, then you will keep knowing that what is happening with you. So that is those 8 limbs are all about that. So now what happens? Patanjali begins with Samadhi, the highest, topmost. The first chapter is about Samadhi. They say Yoga Sutra. What is yoga? It is what are your chitt's vrittis, these tendencies, how to balance them. Yoga means not obstructing them, not cutting them. What it means how to balance them into the right way. So then there is a word chitta vritti. Chitta, what is chitta? Chitta contains 3 things. Our ego, our intelligence and our mind. And 4th is we call it smriti, which is also known as chitta, which is something we consider it independent, but it is same only, consciousness. That is consciousness which is not individual, but amenable to individual. So that is, you can say universal also, because that is how when you rotate yoga, then that you become part of that consciousness. So you call that universal, and since it is available to individual, so it is that way also. So then how to nirodha all these things, how to bring them to the balance. That is, he describes the way that, okay, if you observe these things, that is yama. Yama means your way of behavior, how you behave with others. And niyamas are basically for the individual. So satya, aste, ahimsa, aparigraha, brahmacharya. So truthfulness. Now there comes a question, so every time we use this word truth. But what is truth? First question, like in these days is there so much, earlier there was limited literature. So everybody, when you are saying something, everybody knows what is the context, what you are trying to say. Now what is the knowledge is flooding. So when you say truth, we just take a flimsy view what is truth. But first question should be asked, is there existence of truth itself? Then what it is? So it is different for everyone. If we know, then we say truth is one. Then every should be one. But it is not the case. So that means everybody's truth is different. Now how one has to progress from one's own truth? So that boils down to the identity. That what is your identity? What you consider yourself as you are. So from there onwards we begin. That is the unique part of it. So it says to know yourself, these things if you can identify yourself, who you are. Who you are means the truth here is which is eternal. The quality which we can define about truth, or or indicate is eternity. Something like we are sitting here, but after some point of time we will not be there. That means we are not truth. Now when we say this, then there is so much more. Then you have declared ourselves, are we hallucinating sitting here? That is really the case. Because if we go to the truth, then we are not there. Because it says it is eternal and we are not. Our bodies anyway have to separate. So is there something which is eternal? Then it raises question about the truth. So he devised the way. Some people who knew about it, experienced it, they tried that others should also reach to it. So they divide this way of yoga, that you can also experience that you are eternal. So that is it, Satya. So truth first. What is it? Man, Vachan, Karma. Three things if you are well with it, that is the beginning. So what you consider truth is where you are, that is your truth. Satya Aste means non-stealing. Non-stealing means what you don't need, don't take it. That is another way of saying yoga. So every step of yoga is itself a yoga. Anytime, whatever you need, why should you keep it? Aparigar means not taking anything. Leave what is not necessary. One is for accumulation, don't accumulate, another don't need to take also. Aste, aparigar, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is generally described to the celibacy, which is not the case. It is how you use your energy for the best purpose. That is what it is. And how to live in the universal spirit. That is the brahmacharya. Brahma eva charati sam brahmacharya. Means the one who moves like the universe is the brahmacharya. So, Satya, Aste, Ahimsa, Aparigar, Brahmacharya. And then those yamas are there. Tap, it begins with Sauch, means cleanliness of every kind. So, that is Sauch. Then, so after Sauch, you becomes contented, Santosh. So, that is contentment. And then you need to observe yourself. So, that becomes your Swadhyaya. And then when you are doing Swadhyaya, then you become some kind of steadiness in that. So that is called Tapa. Means you have become firm into that. And then when you become firm into them, then comes Ishwar Pranayama. Ishwar is what? Ishwar is this. Ishwar Sarvbhutanam Hridayesha. If you go by this, religion came very much later on the scene. There was no religion. So all these people who realize something, they put some postulate that this is how human works, human mind works. So yoga is mostly about mind. It is not about physical. This yoga, which generally now these days popular, which is hatha yoga. Just that how to make your body comfortable in particular position, very small part of the task we complete. So that Ishwar Pranidhana means looking at your heart. Whatever is there in the heart, generally mind it reverse. So always coming to that clarity, that is Ishwar Pranidhana. So these are two parts. Then comes asana. Asana, all these pranayams with these asanas, people are doing different kinds. So that is all part of asana. These days mostly people are taking that to the yoga, which is not just physical well-being, because generally those asanas are as much you bend forward, you try to do backward, means you come into a balance body. Physically you are comfortable to sit in the position. So that is why it is practiced. That for some time, the purpose of everything is going beyond body. That there is something, as we are saying, eternal, but we are not eternal as a body. So how can we attain those few movements that we can experience that despite being bodily, we can go beyond body. So all this is just about that. So asana is meant from there. Then pranayama is when you are in a position to sit comfortably, then you breathe accordingly. So body relieves yourself. Then you experience that you are not merely body. Your existence is beyond body itself. So that is the pranayama. Then comes pratyahara. Pratyahara means taking from senses only which is required, needed, not beyond that. So refuting. Refuting means not denying to the body, but because you have come to such a position position that only that much you will take as much as needed and that becomes automatic. So that is pratyahara. Not taking the subjects of the senses. So that is pratyahara. Then comes your this dharana. So what is dharana? When you are not taking anything which is of the material, now you are going in some other dimension. You are readying yourself that your perception has become such that you are considering yourself that I am not body. So then comes that dharana. So dharana, because religion should begin from here. So that is we say dharma. Religion dharma is swadharma. What is your self? What is your self means there are three components: mind, self and soul. So self is your character. Nobody else knows what is your dharma except you. These all dharma are nonsense. So this is your, what you are taking, what you are following, that is your dharma. So that is there, this dharana. So you all know, every individual, because this relationship is very unique. Your is with yours only, nobody else. So that is there, that is where the Guru's role and everything begins. Until there, so it is just physically you are doing something or the other. Once you reach to that higher perception beyond body, then only your relationship or need for the Guru arises. Still then you can do anything, not there. So that is where dharana means. People can say dharana means you just assume something and you start doing that. Is not dharana means you yourself, your dharma, what you are. Dharana, then when you are there, then dhyana. So dhyana means then you have become almost nothing. So it begins with nothingness. So that when you become nothingness, then the universal principle or eternity or whatever name God you give it, that start operating through you. So that is dhyana. And then start operating for you when you are no more there. So that is samadhi. So he says eternally everybody is samadhi because you have forgotten that awakening is not there. All the time that awakening is there, then they are already in samadhi. But this, because of this material, this all contagious things which are disturbing our minds, we forget that. So that is why the awakening is needed. So this is in nutshell, this is what yoga is about.